What is Mujadara? We all want to know. It's everywhere right now, and I'm so glad that it is because this Lebanese lentil pilaf is just so delicious. It's a perfect health food, but also super flavorful and something that we love to have in our repertoires. It's also really economical because it's made with very simple ingredients. Brown lentils, little tiny hard brown lentils. I love these right here. They're Spanish brown lentils. Bulgur, and this is a coarse bulgur. You can also make mujadara with rice. That's the way my mother always made it, but I do love it with the bulgur wheat, coarse bulgur wheat, also known as number 3. Bulgur comes in varying granules, sizes of granules, and the number 3 is just a little bit heftier and it stands up in a pilaf really well, and it needs to be cooked. Number 1 bulgur, which is really fine bulgur wheat, is used in dishes like tabbouleh. So we're going to start. Oh, the other very important ingredient in the mujadara is onions, and we'll get to those in just a minute, but they are deeply, darkly caramelized for mujadara. The lentils, you're going to want to pick through them, sort through them. I like to lay them out on a sheet pan and just look for any little imperfections, little stones that you might want to, that you do want to get rid of. We're going to par cook the lentils, which just means that we're giving them a little head start before we put them into the pilaf. So that's 1 cup of lentils. Whoops, we've got a little bit of runoff there. That's okay. With 2 cups of water and a nice pinch of salt. That's about a teaspoon of salt. And then we're going to cook them for just about 5 to 7 minutes. What I like to do with the bulgur wheat is rinse it a bit so that we get rid of just some of the starch. It's as simple as putting your 1 cup of bulgur into your bowl and rinsing it well with some just tepid water and pouring that off. And when you do that, you're going to see the starches come off. The other super important ingredient and the flavor maker in mujadara is yellow onion. I like to use these big, huge yellow onions because it just takes less dicing. You want about 4 cups of onion ultimately, and we're gonna dice them just like this. I like a very sharp chef's knife for this. And holding it together. I can hear my lentils bubbling away. Now we're going to caramelize the onions. We're going to use about a 1/4 cup of neutral oil. I like to use neutral oil because we are going to cook these at a fairly high temperature, and the neutral oils like safflower oil, grapeseed oil, canola oil, these have a higher smoke point. I'm heating up the oil on medium-high heat, and I'm going to add my onions. Okay, the onions are cooking beautifully. You can see they're starting to caramelize a little bit. As the onions cook, I am adding a little bit of salt. Okay, now the onions are right where I want them. You have some spots that are Some onions that are a little bit lighter and some that are really dark, and that's okay. Some are a little bit charred, and I do like that. I'm going to pour 2 cups of water in. And let that extract some of that beautiful color and flavor from the onions by cooking for just a couple of minutes, still on a fairly high temp, medium high temp. Bring that to a boil, and you can already see that the water is becoming nice and golden brown, and this is going to color the mujadara beautifully. This is the perfect moment to taste your cooking water, because this is also what will be flavoring the mujadara, and you want to see, do I have enough salt at this point? The onion flavor is delicious. It does need a little more salt, and I like it this way. Having to add a little bit more is much better than having added too much from the beginning. So always being a little bit careful about how much you put in at each stage is a good idea. So I put just another teaspoon in, and I'm just going to stir this up a little bit. So let's add our bulgur wheat. See how nice and dark that is. Beautiful. Now we'll add our lentils. These have been par cooking. The lentils with their cooking water. Dark brown is the name of the game here. Okay. Beautiful. Now I usually give it a couple of turns of freshly ground black pepper. You can add other spices here, very delicious. A little bit of cumin is delicious. You could make it spicy with a little bit of cayenne. My tradition is salt and pepper only, and then the onion flavor that comes through. Okay, that's perfect, and it's going to flavor this pilaf beautifully. It's already boiling. I'm going to put the lid on. Same way you'd cook rice, really, is sort of the rule of thumb here. It's come to a boil. Going to bring the heat down to medium low and let the mujadara cook for about 30 minutes. And we're just going to take a look and see, oh gosh, how it did. That is a beautiful batch of mujadara. Just going to stir it up here. You can see that very, very nice. Amazing to me that this is just 1 cup of lentils and 1 cup of bulgur wheat made this big, beautiful pan of mujadara. I think this is one reason why it was so beloved as sort of peasant food in the villages in Lebanon where my grandparents are from, because they could make a lot for their big families and do it relatively economically, very economic. There is one more ingredient in mujadara not to be missed, and that is our final drizzle of extra virgin olive oil. I add it right after it's done cooking, and then again right before I serve it, because if we don't eat all of this up right out of the gate, it is a fabulous dish to be able to just take a scoop for lunch throughout the week, or to serve again as a side dish another night of the week. Super high in protein, high in fiber, and then that olive oil adds a layer of healthy fat that we love so much. The way to serve mujadara is classically with labni, which is just simply a Lebanese style yogurt. You can use Greek yogurt, or any plain yogurt that you have is a perfect accompaniment. And a delicious green salad. You might also like a green vegetable with your mujadara, and always some bread to scoop it up. I'm just going to taste it here with my fork, a little bit of labneh on the fork. Oh my gosh. This is a good batch, I must admit. Very earthy, umami flavor in the mujadara. I hope you're going to try it. If you want to look for ingredients at maureenaboudmarket.com, I've got all of this that you need to make a great batch of mujadara. And my Lebanese recipes, the full recipe at maureenaboud.com. And I would love for you to subscribe to my YouTube channel so that we can continue to cook Lebanese together. Now I'll see you in the next Lebanese recipe video right here.